Warning, the following audio transmission is based on theory and is intended for entertainment purposes only. It's Doomsday and its affiliates will not be held liable for anything your dumbass does. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everybody, to It's Doomsday podcast. Today is March 12th, 2023. Time is 18:04 p.m. Al, did you remember to set your clocks forward? Spring ahead.
Yeah, I got the perfect clock. I got my wife. She'll needle me and tell me, "Oh, by the way, you just lost an hour." Yeah, so I messed up because of it. But yeah, I knew about it.
You know, there's a lot of people that hate this time of year and they hate the idea of losing an hour of sleep. But me, I want that extra hour of daylight. I like long days. I don't want it to get dark till like 10 o'clock, you know?
Yeah, I hate the short winters. It drives me bonkers. I'm not a big fan of the cold, but I hate the short days too.
Absolutely. For those of you that are new here, new to the show, welcome in. Guys, don't forget to like, follow, and share the show and leave a comment if you're over there on Podbean. And also drop a review. I'd greatly appreciate it. And today's episode was Al's brainchild, and he wanted to talk about shit hit the fan food rations, right?
Yeah,
so
food
prepper
rationing
food rations
and food cooking. Yes, sir. You know, there's a whole lot of people out there in the world that plan and prepare for all these apocalypse situations or STH situations. But what if a tornado comes through? What if you have a flood? What if a bad situation comes through that's maybe just something to you? There's all kinds of ways to cook outside of your normal cooking way. You know, we might not have a stove at our, already or a microwave. So let's talk about the different ways that people cook when STHF starts. You know, I mean, there's the camp stove, there's the solar stove, there's the regular campfire, rocket stoves, fire pits, everything. You know, there's all kinds of ways to cook. You can cook using your gas grill if you have to in a bad situation. So, how much do people need to eat? That's a whole other topic.
Since you brought that up, let me, so guys, a great book to go along with this episode, and I don't get paid to say this, I just like helping you guys out, but the book is the Prepper's Pantry Handbook, okay? This is a book that I would highly recommend getting and checking out. And since Al, you brought up how many, how much food should you have? According to this book, it says your food plan should include 16 to 2,800 calories per day. And in the book, they even break this down to grains, vegetables, fruits, dairies, meats, and proteins, just basically everything. And it even goes in there the calories you need for older adults, children, whether they're men or women or pregnant or teen boys and active men. And that is the range. But, the one thing I have to stress is that you're going to need water. They recommend a gallon of water per day per everybody, and that's just for consumption. That's not for hygiene or anything like that or cooking outside of the sort. So I just wanted to plug that in there real quick, Al.
Well, you're right. It's 13 to 9 cups for a healthy man or woman a day. I mean, that's, a couple liters, 3 liters a day just to ingest in your body. So, yeah, you need a lot of water. You need clean water. And understand that if you're not drinking, you should not be eating either. It takes water out of your body to digest. So if you're on a really water-restricted type situation, eating a lot of food is not your friend. Number one, it's going to make you sick. And number two, it's going to drain you and make you, you're going to be very, very dehydrated very quickly. Now, you were talking about different food groups and everything. You're absolutely right about, calorie-wise. A man needs about 2,500 calories a day. A woman needs about 2,000 calories a day, they say. Now, it depends on who you are, how big you are, your size, your age, and everything else. But did you realize that protein-wise, that you need anywhere from 10 to 35% of what you take in a day needs to be, your calories need to be protein? So 10 to 35%, that's a lot.
Are you looking for something kick-ass to add to your closet? Reaper has the hookup for t-shirts, hoodies, button-ups, hats, beanies, and plenty of other badass products. You can check out Reaper Apparel Company at www.reaperapparelco.com and use code DOOM10 for 10% off. Jester only stands behind brands he believes in, and Dan at Reaper Apparel has a mission, and Jester is on board. Go check out www.reaperapparelco.com today and use code DOOM10 for 10% off your entire order. Why be a sheep when you can reap? Use code DOOM10 for 10% off at www.reaperapparelco.com today.
Right. And, it's really good for those of you out there that are prepping and you're out there buying the freeze-dried foods. You guys got to understand a lot of the things you're buying within the survival foods are freeze-dried fruits, freeze-dried vegetables, oats, things like that, all of which I'm not saying they don't have any protein, but there's not a very high protein content in these. So you got to find a way to compensate for that.
Right. Peanut butter, nuts, fish, eggs, things like that can replace the protein that maybe meat will. So you need protein. You can't just live on carbs or can't just live on this. You need these different things. Now, can you stay alive on it? Well, sure. But you want to be healthy while you're still alive. Now, also understand that 45 to 65% of your total calories a day need to come from carbohydrates. I mean, you need those carbohydrates to burn, to have energy. The protein breaks down for other things, but the carbohydrates, that's what gives you the power to do what you do daily. It's like the fuel for your body. So you got to come up with that somewhere. When you're in an off-grid situation, you don't know what you're going to be eating. You got to be careful. I mean, you don't want to eat anything or drink anything that you think can be contaminated, not good, spoiled. You turn a bad situation into a much worse situation. Do you not agree?
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%. And I got to say this too, man. Rice and beans, rice and beans, rice and beans.
Righto. Rice and beans are a great idea. This is something that preppers came up with years ago. There are things that you need on top of that, but the good rice and beans to give you that energy, that long haul energy is wonderful. But it understands now you have to have some meats and proteins in there. And so what are the substitutes for meats and proteins? Well, there's a lot of substitutes. I mean, you can actually go out and find things out there that replace it. Okay, like I said earlier, peanut butter, peanuts, maybe it's a peanut butter powder. I love peanut butter powder. I'm addicted to it if I get around it. It can be mixed up with stuff.
Al, I don't think I've ever had peanut butter powder.
Oh, if you haven't had peanut butter powder, I do not know what's wrong with you.
I was turned
on this years ago.
I've got some, but I've never. I bought some just to add to my stockpile, but I don't think I've ever tried it. It's sitting there though. I need to try it.
Oh, you need to try it. I'm telling you, it's wonderful. There are other things too, like pea proteins, beans, jackfruit, black beans, chickpeas, tofu, all these things, they make up for proteins. So you can actually use that. But listen, I'm partial to the peanut butter powder because one, we know peanut butter gives us protein very quick. A couple spoonfuls of peanut butter, you've solved your protein problem.
Right.
Okay. But the protein powder, the peanut butter powder, you can actually mix into something like oatmeal and things like that. So you don't have to have the actual peanut butter with you. You can just mix it in, get the taste and get the protein, and it's really compact. I like that.
One of the things that I stock a lot of is I stock the tuna fish. I stock canned chicken. And the main reason I stock those is because they're already hydrated, right?
Me too.
And the other reality to this is it's already pre-cooked. So if I mean, like, let's be honest here. You're going to get this hot enough over a wood fire. I want to say it's like 7,000 BTUs per pound of wood. So like you can get all these things hot enough to cook out, any contaminants or any bacteria that may be within these things later on. However, it's nice to know that this is pre-cooked, it's sealed, it's canned, you know it's going to be good, it's got a shelf life, you can read it right on the can. And if I can't get this, if I'm in a rush or something, I can at least get that hot enough to eat it and right out of the can, and it's good. I don't have to worry about where it came from, and I'm getting that dose of protein.
Do you have enough food in your pantry for when disaster strikes? Go to www.readywise.com and utilize code DOOM10 for 10% off your entire food order. ReadyWise offers long-term food storage items such as chicken and beef that last up to 15 years. But that's not all. Go to www.readywise.com and use our code DOOM10 for 10% off of organic food as well. Offering chili, pasta, and soups, they have you covered. Did we mention they have fruits? Bananas, blueberries, strawberries, and apples, just to name a few. With many more food options for your home, car, or bug-out bag, ReadyWise has your six. Go to www.readywise.com now and utilize code DOOM10 for 10% off.
And if you're planning one of these preppers STHF situations, cupboards, okay, like I'm going to cook out of this when everything goes bad. There are things that you need to get to put in there that are great. Now, I'm not saying you need all of them. It depends on what you want, but certain things that you cook require items that you might not be thinking about. Sort of like, powdered milk replaces milk. There's powdered cheese, powdered yogurt, powdered eggs. There's dried fruits and vegetables. And like I said, powdered butters and margarines are wonderful for those type of things. But I've even seen freeze-dried sour cream. You want to cook a meal? Yeah. I mean, when you live out in in a bad situation, things are already bad enough. You need to put something in to keep you going. But if it's something that's going to make you happy a little bit, even if it's just a little food, it might change your whole mindset about what's going on in the world.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, having a nice full belly when shit's hitting the fan and everything's crashing down around you, that's going to be key for morale. And the one thing I did want to stress on this, though, when we talk about like the rationing portion of this, guys, you got to remember, you could be working on your food pantry tomorrow. You could say, you know what, I have 6 months of food stored up, but shit hits the fan and it lasts 9 months. Well, that's where the rationing comes into play. If you're stocked for 5 years, it could last 6, and then you're really fucked. You
need to look at what you have when an actual situation happens, and you're going to go, okay, I'm going to have to live here, and I've got this much food. I've got this many people I need to take care of, and then you begin to ration. You have to get so much for so money every day, If you don't do that and ration things out, at the end, you may have something left over, something you might be getting miraculously rescued, or everything may go great for you. Okay? That's great. But if you didn't do that and you ate everything up in the first little bit of time and just let everybody scavenge what they want, what would happen? I mean, when you could become sick, till you could die, maybe it's a long time before you get to any food. So I strictly always recommend rationing everything.
Right, I agree 100%. Now, guys, I really want you to think about this for a second, though, when we're talking about these rations and we're talking about cooking and things like this. And something I want to explain to you guys is it's better to do less than more, all right? Now, this is what I mean by that. Say you have 5 people in your little group, and that's who you're cooking for, and you say, you know what, everybody looks overly hungry. I'm going to double down servings tonight, and I'm going to feed everybody to where everybody's getting 2 servings of rice or 2 servings of beans, et cetera, et cetera. It is better to do the opposite and do half servings because you can always make more, but you're not going to be able to keep that old food fresh if it doesn't get eaten, right?
Right.
Especially in the sense that, the grid's down. You don't have a refrigerator. You don't have a way to keep that food cold. There is a safe zone for food temperatures, and if food's left out on the counter, it immediately can start growing bacteria. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. So it's better to open less, make less, because you can always go back and make more versus wasting what you have.
Righto. And that's the thing. Like I always say, if you have a question whether it's any good or not, whether it be food or water, leave it alone. Don't do it, folks. Your belly may be rumbling a little bit, but you want to pass something up, that's a problem. because it could cause you to go from a bad situation to a horrible, even to a death situation. Because you know how many people get into horrible situations, they're lost or out someplace. How would you like to do that and have food poisoning at the same time?
Yeah.
No, that's not for me. But rationing food is a great thing. Jester said you can go back and make more of something, but to let it sit out, and people always want a snack, folks. If you're in a situation where you have to scavenge for things to eat, you need to know what you're eating. Don't just eat everything because your belly's growling. People get in trouble all the time. Every year, somebody dies of mushroom poisoning or at least gets high as a kite from mushroom poisoning. Every summer I hear about it. At least here in Arkansas, you'll hear about it. You know, people go out and they eat something. They either get hungry or they want to try something. Bad idea.
Fire is one of the most basic essentials for survival. Whether you're camping, hiking, or preparing for disaster, Blackbeard has your six. Go to www.blackbeardfire.com and utilize code DOOMSDAY for 10% off your entire purchase. Blackbeard offers stormproof matches, plasma arc lighters, fire starters, and ferro rods, all of which are great for your bug out bag. Once again, go to www.blackbeardfire.com and utilize code DOOMSDAY for 10% off your entire purchase.
So, you know, something else I'd like to kind of push out to the listeners too. Time of day of when you're cooking and making meals is crucial as well, especially if you're in an area where you're trying to, you know, remain a little bit gray or remain covert a little bit. I suggest doing your cooking and your eating and your foraging during the day versus doing this at night. Campfire is going to give away light. You're going to put out smells at night. Animals are on the move at night looking for food as well. So you don't want food and things laying around because say you're out in the woods, you're at your bug out spot, and these animals start smelling this food and they come across your food. And, you know, you might not think that dried sack of beans is very appetizing, but for a bear, he might say, oh, man, that looks like dinner, and then there goes a week's food supply gone.
Want to be a guest on the show? Email itsdoomsdaypodcast@gmail.com. That's itsdoomsdaypodcast@gmail.com.
Right?
Right. Get it up high. Get it off the ground. Get it away from everything down below and get it up there. Get in a tree. You know, that's the oldest trick in the book is to get it away from you, but get away from everything else too. So,
right, Al, we were at prepper camp last year, and we had bears come through the campground in the middle of the night. It was like 2-3 in the morning. There was a bear out there looking for food.
I traveled through a part of Arkansas just a couple of days ago that's really prevalent for having bears, and during this time of the year, moving around a lot. So far, I haven't gotten any camera pictures back for some of them, but some of them are huge up in there. So yeah, bears are everywhere. I'm afraid, folks. You might not think they're in your general area, but wherever you're going camping at, remember the wildlife. They live there all the time. They're on vacation there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 110%. And you don't want to lose your lunch to the wildlife, folks.
No, you don't. And also understand when you're in certain situations, you might lose what you have to somebody else that think they need it worse than you. Folks, security, you know, as you're rationing things, you're rationing for your group, if somebody else comes in from outside and eats it up, you know, all the rationing in the world you did nothing. Okay? Nothing. So security is good for your rations too. Let me say that.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, there is this other side of this out to where, you know, you're going to come across people and, you know, they're going to pull on your heartstrings a little bit. Hey, my kid hasn't eaten in 3 or 4 days. You know, do you have anything you could spare? And those there are the situations that I know are going to be my downfall. Like, I mean, I'm not going to have a problem turning an adult away who was like, you conspiracy theorist, you said all this shit, blah, 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 blah. You know, like that guy that was like, yep, you're wrong, now I need your help. I don't have a problem turning him away. But if I see those wide-eyed kids, like, Mr. I'm hungry, feed me, I'm going to have a really hard time saying no.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say your kid hasn't eaten in 3 or 4 days. Well, look like you've eaten in the last 3 or 4 days, so why don't you feed your kid? Now roll out of here, dude, and take your little tribe with you.
Right.
No, I couldn't do that. I'm not like that. I'm not as cold-hearted like that. But to be honest with you, Jester, it is true. No matter how much rationing you do, if you wastefully, whether it's with the heavy eyes, the big eyes, the batting eyes, or intimidation or theft or whatever it is, if you give up what you had, all the rationing in the world doesn't do you any good. But we're also talking about ways that you may have to make meals and eat and maintain your family and your circle if things aren't going well. So, folks, if things aren't going well, that means they're not going well for other folks too. So, just know what you've got, know what you need to eat on a daily basis. Don't overeat. Skipping a meal might be a great idea, but understand with that lack of energy, it might put you behind that 8 ball. So sometimes not always saying almost skip and keep it for a little later. Not always a great idea,
Are you looking for something kick-ass to add to your closet? Reaper has the hookup for t-shirts, hoodies, button-ups, hats, beanies, and plenty of other badass products. You can check out Reaper Apparel Company at www.reaperapparelco.com and use code DOOM10 for 10% off. Jester only stands behind brands he believes in, and Dan at Reaper Apparel has a mission, and Jester is on board. Go check out www.reaperapparelco.com today and use code DOOM10 for 10% off your entire order. Why be a sheep when you can reap? Use code DOOM10 for 10% off at www.reaperapparelco.com today.
Right, that's a good point too. And guys, also think about this idea when it comes to your food stocks and storage is right now we have the luxury and the benefit of having cold storage, and your house is climate controlled, so you're able to maintain moisture levels and heat and temperatures within your home. When shit hits the fan and you don't have that option anymore, some of your rations may go bad, okay? So this might incline you to ration your food more. So as Al and I are talking about these things, don't take this information lightly. Take it to heart.
Yes. Rationing on a daily basis is one thing, but saying, well, we're not going to eat today, we'll save it for the next time. Well, if you lose your strength or someone gets sick or something has to be done that's strenuous and you wore yourself out and it takes your crew longer to get better again after that, you've not gained anything. So you have to come to an idea. Someone has to be the boss. Somebody has to be the adult and say, I'm going to be the one in charge of rationing things, and I'm going to do it fairly. Doesn't happen when everybody has their hand in the bucket. Things don't get rationed, I promise you.
Right, and that would be something I would definitely push out there. If you have a group of people and you have your prepper group, you need to have somebody in charge of that. You need to have somebody in charge of inventorying stocks, rationing stocks, seeing what you have there. I promise you this. You've got two kinds of people out there right now. You either have more food than what you think you have, which means you've stocked for a year and you could probably ration it out to maybe 2 or 3, not realizing that. Or you think you have a year and you don't realize how you eat, and really you only have 6 months.
Do you have enough food in your pantry for when disaster strikes? Go to www.readywise.com and utilize code DOOM10 for 10% off your entire food order. ReadyWise offers long-term food storage items such as chicken and beef that last up to 15 years. But that's not all. Go to www.readywise.com and use our code DOOM10 for 10% off of organic food as well. Offering chili, pasta, and soups, they have you covered. Did we mention they have fruits? Bananas, blueberries, strawberries, and apples, just to name a few. With many more food options for your home, car, or bug-out bag, ReadyWise has your 6. Go to www.readywise.com now and utilize code DOOM10 for 10% off.
Right.
So, and I mean, that's a mistake a lot of people make. Like, I know I look at the stuff we have, stocked up food-wise, and a lot of the stock that I have are like these bulk type items, jambalaya, tons of beans, tons of rice, and I stock up on that stuff mainly because if I need to do some type of a community food, that's easy to do. You know, I could make a bunch of rice and beans. We can go forage. We could shoot a deer, and we could add some proteins into that, and we could eat off that for a very long time without even tapping into the survival food or the canned goods or the other things that we have stocked. You know,
right. You're right, Jester, about the two kinds of people that have food stuck back. You've got the one guy who thinks he eats 100,000 calories a day. He doesn't care what he does. He's got a little bit, the 2,000 calorie meals for 87 people for 5,500 days, and he's got this block of food in there, and he's so proud of it, but he doesn't realize that when times go bad, he's going to eat a whole bucket of that a day. Him and his little tribe are going to just devour that food. That's one guy. And then the other guy is the guy like me who doesn't eat that much at all, but thinks, dang, I might need 7 days worth of food for one day. And he's sitting on 100,000 years worth of food over here, and he's just barely going to nibble at anything. I mean, there's two different thoughts of school out there.
See, for me, I'm not a morning eater. Like, I don't typically do breakfast. Like, I'll eat a late lunch typically. I don't typically eat till 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And I'll have like a decent sized lunch, and then I won't eat again till dinner time. But then I have a problem. I have a late night snacking problem, Al, to where it's nighttime. It's like 9, 10 o'clock, and I'm like, I want a bowl of fruit. I want some grapes. I want some strawberries, or I want some cereal, or I want some granola. Like, I have the late night munchies all the time. And no, I don't smoke weed, but I get the late night munchies all the time.
I just wanted to throw this out there, and they're not a sponsor or anything like that, but there is an app out there that's called My Protein, Fitness, and Nutrition. Don't know what their game is, don't even know what their product is, but I just noticed that they have every single 1,000 calories per 100 grams of every kind of item in the world. So if you're planning out how much you're going to need for a day on any kind of an item, whether it be fruit, vegetable, protein, anything like that, just go give that a whirl. It's free. I like free stuff. But it also tells you about oils and fats and things like that. So if you are one of those people that needs to be eating a little bit better, even in a STHF situation, you can plan for it ahead of time. You don't have to get all the stuff that's full of nastiness. You can maybe make a cleaner diet for yourself. People say all the time, I'm not going to live through it because I've got high cholesterol and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, plan better now. Don't wait for whatever's just there.
And I've talked to people like that to where they've told me, well, my health conditions are so bad that I don't think I would survive anyway. And I tell people a lot of their health conditions are just due to laziness.
Right.
And, you really got to think about it. When shit hits the fan, there's not going to be many options for you to be lazy anymore.
You're
living like
right.
this sedentary, I can't say that word. You know what I mean? Living this lazy couch potato lifestyle is going to kind of go out the window whenever you're having to prepare all your own meals. Al, I heard something, and just the only reason I'm bringing this up is because we're doing this food episode today. My son, he works at McDonald's. He recently got a job there, and he was telling me, he's like, Dad, you wouldn't believe how many people in town come through the driveway 3 or 4 times a day. This is the only thing they eat is McDonald's.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, are you serious? He says, yeah. He says they'll come through, they'll get breakfast, they'll come back, they'll get lunch. He said they'll come through, they'll get dinner, and then they'll come through at the end of the day and grab like a snack. And so I want everybody to think about this for a second. This is just one fast food restaurant in our town that this is happening, and there's multiple fast food restaurants. And the thing is these are people that do not have a box of spaghetti in the pantry, okay? They don't have peanut butter or jelly in their house. They don't have bread. They are fully dependent on the fast food industry for meals, okay? Now, these are going to be the people that get starved out completely. And I'm going to tell you what, this is this conspiracy light bulb going off in my head here. I'm like a firm believer that this is one of the only few reasons that the fast food industry stayed open during the pandemic. They were one of the only things that didn't close down. Number one is because large corporation, they're not going to take the hit. They're not going to stand for it, so the government's going to let them get away with it. But the flip side to this is that you have so many people dependent on this way of eating. If you have a McDonald's that's serving millions of people every day, you as the government can't say, well, we're going to shut down and let millions starve. But if it's a situation where this was out of the government's hands, such as, mass grid failure or natural disaster or something like that, or, we're at war and we're under attack, they're going to have to shut these things down. And these people are going to be the people that are knocking on your door saying, hey, do you have anything to eat? And I'm sorry, but if you're and this is just me, if you're some fat ass who lives their life off fucking fast food, only eating McDonald's 3 or 4 times a day, and you come waddling up my driveway asking me for food, no, guy, I am not helping you out. That's a situation where you made that bed. You came to be dependent on a large corporation, and you came to be dependent on the fast food industry, and now it's gone? Sorry, dude, that's on you.
Fire is one of the most basic essentials for survival. Whether you're camping, hiking, or preparing for disaster, Blackbeard has your six. Go to www.blackbeardfire.com and utilize code DoomsDay for 10% off your entire purchase. Blackbeard offers stormproof matches, plasma arc lighters, fire starters, and ferro rods, all of which are great for your bug out bag. Once again, go to www.blackbeardfire.com and utilize code DOOMSDAY for 10% off your entire purchase.
I say this is like natural selection, the theory of natural selection where, only the strong survive, the weak die off. It's going to be that situation in life with human beings too, Jester, because only the strong are going to survive. Those who have prepared, those who are in better shape, those that are able to do without, those that are able to put up with certain things. The weak are not going to survive. And I'm sorry, but I have my own to take care of. I've got a wife that's got a couple underlying illnesses that's mine to take care of and mine to provide for when something bad happens. And if you come between me and protecting her, what do you think I'm going to do to you?
Oh, I know.
Seriously.
I get it.
Yep.
I'm the same. If you think I'm going to let my kids starve so some person that's addicted to McDonald's can get something in their stomach, you're nuts.
Right.
There is no way in the world that I'm going to let that happen.
Right. I tell people all the time, and I say this, and I mean it. The people that you cater to in this lifetime, the people that you take care of in this lifetime, I cater to my wife because she's my wife, or my family, my circle. I cater to them. Those are the only people you're going to cater to when times get bad. Everybody else is going to become expendable to you, and that's a fact. So think about that just a little bit. Just mull that over in your head. Who do you cater to the most, and what would you do for them that you wouldn't do for your own self? So
exactly,
that's where the danger factor comes in.
Oh, and it does. And I don't want the situation to be portrayed that when we talk about the shit hitting the fan, we're talking about specifically like a Red Dawn situation or an Armageddon situation. I mean, the fact is nobody knows, okay?
Nobody knows.
But we're watching things go downhill every day. We're watching the world get worse every day. And it may not be this running and gunning situation, but I'm going to tell you what, if grocery stores are down and EMS is down and 911's not working, guys, we're going to be living in a hell of a world.
Yes, we are.
And with that, I want to segue into something real quick, Al.
Okay.
Guys, if you haven't got your prep stock tickets yet, go to www.prepstock.ticketleap.com. Get your tickets. We're going to start running an ad campaign on April 6th because we're only going to be 6 months away at that point from prep stock. And the more these tickets sell, the more they're going to go up in price because we have to make sure we hit a certain amount of money to cover the rental property for the event. So, like I said, www.prepstock.ticketleap.com. Get your tickets now. As soon as April 6th hits and these ad campaigns take off, the cheaper tickets are going to sell out. So make sure you're getting them.
Make sure you're there, folks.
That's it.
You're going to get one to be able to build friends in your prepper pantry in your head that you can get resources from, but also you can learn a lot of things that you didn't know that maybe somebody else did. Maybe you can bring somebody who doesn't know about prepping and bring them as a guest and get them into the prepper club, as we call it, I guess.
Exactly. And with that being said, Al, we've got about a minute left here. If there's anything else you want to add into this for prepper food, shit hits the fan rationing.
Number one, folks, understand you're not going to have your kitchen. You're not going to have your normal cooking type situation. So now's the time to be thinking about ways that you can cook outside of your kitchen. Number two, now's the time to be building your pantry of items that you like, things that you want to eat, things that you will eat when things happen, okay? Don't wait till the very last second and get what's left on the shelf. Try the recipes or the ways that you plan to cook or the things you plan to cook. Try it one time to make sure it's good. You don't want to pack all kinds of something and find out later on, oh, that sucked, it's awful. Check it now. Try it now. Rice and beans and freeze-dried foods are your friend. You can build all kinds of meals to eat with those. And I guess that's about it. Just think ahead, folks. This is the thinking game.
This is an emergency action message. At approximately 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, NORAD is tracking 15 ICBM nuclear missiles inbound to the following cities: Orlando, Miami, Pittsburgh, Dover, Newark, Richland, Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, Seattle, Detroit. This is an extremely deadly situation. Stay tuned. The next emergency message will be a presidential address.